Shalom Chaverim, hello friends, and welcome back. My name is Rabbi Sam Stern, and I am here with you today to review a video that should be very interesting. Today we'll hear the memoir of a U.S. soldier who helped to liberate the DACHAU Concentration Camp. The images, video clips, and the testimony of the man speaking are going to be very difficult for some people to hear. This is a really important part of World War II history, but I encourage those who are under the age of 13 not to engage with this material yet. One of the greatest honors I've ever been bestowed is to become one of the co-chairs of the Kansas State Holocaust Commission. I was appointed in 2021 by Governor Laura Kelly, and along with the governor's office and the leaders of the legislature, we helped put on the annual Kansas Holocaust Remembrance Commemoration. So you could say it's part of my job to make sure that the Holocaust and its horrors and its lessons are remembered. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to this channel and like this video so more people can be exposed to it. No one should forget the Holocaust, and no one could give a better reason for why than this U.S. soldier who helped to liberate Dachau. So now, let's get to the video.
Now, at this particular time, we never heard the expression concentration camp or death camp. We don't know what it was. So we radioed back to the troops behind us and said, bring blankets, bring medical supplies, and be prepared for what you're going to see, because you won't believe what people did to people.
Yeah, what people did to people. It's a great channel, by the way. Shout out to this channel.
By 1943, the United States was fully immersed in the Second World War. Military production was at an all-time high, and for many young men, like Don Greenbaum, the draft was waiting.
I wanted to enroll in the Air Force, and I hadn't graduated high school yet, and I held off. Well, I was out of high school for about 10 days, and then I was drafted at 18 years old. I was sworn into the Army and assigned to the 283rd. I learned how to carry a gun, clean my gun, dig a foxhole, and over our barracks was a motto, kill or be killed. We were shown pictures of the Germans being trained to kill us, and we were being trained at the age of 18 how to kill them. You know, when you're 18, you're so rah-rah, you just can't wait to go over and shoot the enemy and kill the enemy until you get there. We ended up in South Wales in England and shipped out there to Utah Beach after the invasion. Once we landed, we realized that training was over. We saw the guys who were wounded, ambulances, the body bags, someone's uncle, cousin, father, brother in those bags. You figure, oh my God, training's over, this is for real.
I don't know any of this man or these men's struggles, but I'm grateful every day for their sacrifice.
For the next 238 days, we were in combat, going through France, Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, up to Siegfried Line. My role was a forward observer. I'd go out with a Jeep and a driver and look for the enemy and radio back to our artillery, and I would direct the fire. As we progressed through these other countries, we realized these people were really prisoners for a long time, and they couldn't believe the Americans were there. They came out with flowers and kisses and cognac. We were liberators, and we went from town to town, and resistance was there, but we could do maybe 10 or 15 miles in a day. So we hit the German border, and then everything stopped. then it was like mile by mile. And we lost a lot of people, as you know. You know, you didn't make friends with someone after a while because you know they're here today and gone tomorrow.
How terrible you don't even want to empathize because of
November 9th, 1944, I was wounded. A German forward observer spotted us before we spotted them. Hit our Jeep, knocked us over, knocked us both out. Our Jeep was destroyed. My driver and myself were both wounded and sent to a field hospital.
Don spent the next few weeks recovering and was sent to Paris for R&R. But only 3 days into his leave, he was called back to join the 283rd in battle as German forces were amassing a tremendous counterattack in
not
the
a lot of
Ardennes
recovery
forest.
time, but fighting a world war.
In December of 1944, the Allied forces were caught off guard when Germany launched a surprise offensive,
Battle of the
breaking their
Bulge.
lines and leaving thousands of them surrounded. The Battle of the Bulge saw some of the bitterest combat in the Second World War, lasting 40 days and leaving over 150,000 casualties. But after a cold and grueling conflict, the Allies emerged the victors.
USA. No.
Germany's might quickly fading, they were on the run, and the 283rd joined the chase toward Berlin.
Our next objective was Munich. We were told that on our way to Munich, we should stop and clean out a German supply depot.
Oy.
They said the supply depot is called Dachau, outside Dachau. We were about a mile outside Dachau when this tremendous odor hit us. About a half mile in,
Are there burning
after
bodies
that,
or
we saw the sky
decomposing?
was black. Something was happening. We didn't know what it was. Eventually, we came across where the odor came from. There were boxcar after boxcars, 15, 20 of them, filled with mangled bodies. The odor came from decaying bodies.
Oy.
Now, at this particular time, we never heard the expression concentration camp or death camp. We know what it was. We saw this guy behind the barbed wire, 85 pounds, walking around trying to just to live, I guess. We entered the camp, and I see that thousands and thousands of guys weighing 85, 90 pounds at the most, dressed in pajama-type uniforms. We didn't know who they were. Luckily, one of our men spoke Yiddish, and he said, "We're American soldiers. We came to liberate
They were
you.
Jews.
You're free." We've
were
had
free.
prisoners from France, from all over the place. They came from Poland, France, everywhere where the Germans rounded them up. So we radioed back to the troops behind us and said, "Bring blankets, bring medical supplies, and be prepared for what you're going to see." You know, you grow up real fast when you see that. Can't imagine what mankind would do to mankind.
Can't imagine what mankind would do to mankind.
The discovery of the concentration camps was yet another pulled thread, contributing to the undoing of the Nazi war machine. In April of 1945, Adolf Hitler would take his own life. His officers followed suit or were captured, and on the 7th of May, Germany surrendered.
The war was over, and we started our journey home, and life went on. About 50 years after I was out of the Army, I heard on 2020 that the deniers said it never happened. It was Hollywood. The bodies were fake. The crematoriums were not crematoriums. The gas chambers did not exist. So I called Gratz College, which is a local, predominantly Jewish college. And I said, I want to speak and tell my story. So I was there. I started to speak. Small groups here, small groups there. I got a call from a fellow in Northeast Philadelphia saying there's a fellow in our congregation at our synagogue who was a survivor of DACHAU, and he'd like to thank you for saving his life. So he gave me his phone number. I called him that very day in the rain. We met him at Tiffany Diner on the boulevard in Philadelphia. He brought his son, I brought my wife. It was a fantastic, very emotional. We grabbed each other. You know, he was looking for somebody for 57 years to thank for saving his life. And Ernie and I have been speaking for the last 12 years all over the country, because in 10 years there'll be no one left to tell our story.
It's important.
The guys will say it never happened, and life is going to go on. So we speak to groups, large and small, young and old, anywhere they want to hear us speak, because we want our message to be sent to the younger generation.
Yeah. So true. Glad that these men decided to speak up and speak out, both Ernie
Hi
and
everyone, I'm Josh from Memoirs of World War II, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching this episode. Our goal is to capture as many World War II veteran stories as we can from all over the world, but we can't do it alone. If you'd like to help us in this mission, consider supporting us through Patreon, and check out our website and links below for more information. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. We want to say thank you for your support.
Do that.
Thanks for watching.
Do it here too. Want to say, and I mentioned the thank you to the Ernie guy who was speaking, who was a prisoner of the camp. Thank you, Don Greenbaum. Thank you for your role in the history of my people. Thank you for being one of those American liberators who saved the lives of Jews who otherwise would have been murdered by the Nazis. So, thank you. And thank all of you for joining me on this journey. Once again, I hope that you will be back for another. Please share a comment of a video you'd like me to react to, or something that you're thinking about. Shalom.